Alright, welcome back. Where we left off last time, you were to take these windows and move them around to what you liked. To actually save this now, before you exit the program, in the top right hand corner, you'll see a layout button. They actually have some default layouts. One's actually called default, so if you click on there, this is the default layout. They have a 2x3, which kind of puts everything in columns, and then you have the scene in the game view, which is really nice. This is pretty good. They have a 4 split, where they actually have 2 scene views. Sorry, 4 scene views. And this is kind of like a engineering type of view, where you have the top, front, right, and then the perspective view. To change the views, you can just click on what it says there, and it just goes between the different ones, top, front, and so on and so forth. If you don't like that, you can go to, there's one that's called Space Shooter. Gives you a giant area for a scene in a game view. Pretty nice. And then I have already created one called Jordan. Right here, you click on that, and then it has your default layout. This is the way that I like to work. You can even resize these windows as well. If you just put your cursor close to the bar, you can resize them here and there. Sometimes you have to click once, and then you can change it. Okay, so I'm going to slide this all the way over, something like that. And then if you want to save your layout, you can just go to Save Layout. You can delete them. You can go back to the way it was. I'll kind of reset it. So I do have these windows over here, but you guys don't have these. So let me close those and resave it. So this is the way that I'm going to be working. You can set it up the way you want. Your windows might be in a different spot, but it's all the same stuff. There are 3 windows here that you probably don't have yet. We're probably not even going to touch them. If you ever lose a window, for example, you close something out that you needed. For example, if I close my project tab, it's not gone forever. You can get it back. Go up into the menu here where it says Window, and then these are all the different windows you have. So I close the project one. I'll just hit Project. Bam, it's back. And if I want to put it back to where it was, I can just click and drag that tab and take it to where I want. If I drag it down here and let it go, that's where it is. Yeah, like I said earlier, these folders are kind of big, so I'm going to drag this down. So I like to look at it in list view. All right, so I did have you create this scenes folder right here. What we're going to do is save our first scene. Even though there's nothing in it, we can still save it. All right, we know that there is changes done because we have a little asterisk in the right up here in the main menu bar. All right, so if there's ever any changes and you see that asterisk, make sure you go and save it. Again, it's good to save often so we don't lose anything. Control S is your quick keyboard shortcut, and Control Shift S is your save scene as if you want to save a different scene. So keep those in mind. That'll make saving a lot easier. So I'm going to do Save As, and now I need to select my Scenes folder. Right now I'm in my Main Assets folder. Don't want to be there. I want to be in my Scenes folder. So I'll do that, and then I'll just call this Game, for lack of a better name. It will automatically put the .unity type of file attached to it, so we don't have to worry about that. If we click Save, Webo, there it is. Puts the game scene into the scenes folder. So go ahead and take some more minutes if you didn't get used to the layouts and whatnot and get things situated. If you have some extra time, you can go and start adding game objects. In your hierarchy menu, go to Create, and then you can create any of these types of objects. Additionally, you can also create an object by going up to the Game Object menu. You can create an empty game object, which is basically just a point in space, or you can create other, and you have that same list of objects like you do on the right-hand side. So let's go ahead and create, I don't know, a cube. For example, places a cube in the game area. To zoom in on it real quick, make sure you have the cube selected, and your cursor is over the scene view. If I put it over here, and I try and press the F key, nothing happens. But when I put my cursor over the scene view and press F, it now zooms in on it. Pretty cool, huh? So remember your camera rotation shortcuts. Hold down Alt, left click, and you can drag around and view the object from 3 different sides, or additionally you can right click and zoom around and move the camera. Okay, notice that the shading of the box is changing a little bit, which is kind of weird because we don't even have a light in our scene. We always need a light source in our scene. All right, so I'm going to zoom out a little bit, back. All right, notice how everything's kind of dark. So we can actually add in a light source. So we can go to Create, and then we have all these different types of light. For now, we're just going to be working with a directional light. Think of it as the sun's rays. So when you click on this, it's going to add in a directional light. We have our little gizmos here. I guess I can show you how to move and rotate objects here. So up in the top left-hand corner, you have different icons here. You can go between grabbing the camera and moving the camera around. Notice it's not moving the object, it's moving the camera. This cursor, when it has the actual gizmo on it, is how you move it. You just click and drag these arrows, and you can move the object through 3D space. Now again, this really doesn't have any physical space to it, so that's why it's represented by what's called a gizmo, or this little icon. Same thing with the camera. If that icon's really, really big, you can actually change the size of it under gizmos, and you have 3D gizmos. We have a little slider here, so you can increase and decrease the size. Obviously it's way too big. You can make it whatever size you want. And let's go ahead and raise it up. And since I have it selected, I can zoom in on it. My cursor is over the scene view. I press F. It actually zoomed it out, but we can zoom right back in. And there it is. Okay, holding down Alt and left clicking, moving around. It's kind of hard to see. Let me get that gizmo off of there so it's easier to see. There we go. So you can see those yellow lines that are coming down. Those are the direction of the light. Notice the cube. Okay, we can rotate objects by using, instead of the directional arrows, we can use the rotational arrows. When you click that, you get a whole new gizmo. Notice it looks like a sphere. You can click one of these 3 axes to kind of rotate it. Notice as I rotate the light, how it's actually changing on the cube. So this is all universal here. It's universal light. It's not coming from a specific object. All the light is coming down all around the world in the same direction. As I click and kind of move this around, you can see the light changing. So this is how you can make it look like the sun is setting or rising by changing the angle of this object. Okay, if you want to change the size, which really isn't going to do too much with a light, but notice you get a different set of gizmos, and again you can change the scale left and right. If I click on my cube, notice scale is still selected up here, and now I can scale the cube in different directions. I can go up, go sideways, and if you want to go all in the same direction, you can click the middle. Right? Notice it turned yellow. You can click and go up and down to resize an object. If you want specific values, then you can go up into the transform in the top right hand corner and type in specific values. For example, maybe you want exactly -2. Actually, let's do 1 by 1 by 1. Now that's a transform position, so all it did was change the position in the scene view. If you want to change the scale back to original, you can change this to 1, 1, 1, and you're back to the original size box. A lot to take in the first couple of videos, but again, I just wanted to get you the hang about all the different windows and way to work around.